Are you ready to kickstart your week with some dirt slinging and tire slinging action motorsports radio that packs the biggest guests?
Hi, Ken Block here.
Hey, my name's Jolene Van Butte.
What's up, Brian Deegan?
Vaughn Gittin Jr. here.
They've been thrown into one show that has broken down the barriers of what a motorsports radio show should be. This is the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR, with support from General Tire, KMC Wheels, Dirtfish, Gibson Exhaust, and MTX Audio, with your host, who also happens to spend his weekends flying 800 horsepower trucks through the dirt, Jim Beaver.
When was the last time you saw an off-road or rally driver begging to get behind the wheel of a NASCAR IndyCar? Yep, not happening, but you sure see these pavement racers begging to drive our cars.
And his partner in crime every week, a self-proclaimed Canadian moto chick who was jumping triples and taking podiums before most guys even learned to ride, Amy Hood.
No one knows how to say my last name. Like, is it really that hard? Amy Hood, like I'm from the hood. Don't get it twisted.
Sit back, strap in, and be prepared to join us as we take you through a motorsports ride like no other. Here is the man who carries a steering wheel in one hand and a mic in the other, Jim Beaver.
It is gas on, game on today. Bring the excitement. We got my buddy Vaughn Gittin Jr., professional fun haver. I think he is the only guy on earth that gives Amy Hood a run for her money. I think you guys kind of got this dueling fun having going on. I know we got into it a bit last time, but Vaughn, always fun. He's got a new off-road truck that he built. He's going to be doing King of the Hammers. I know, Formula Drift guy coming over to the dirty side. I kind of like it. So we got Vaughn Gittin calling in hour number 2. We have, oh man, who else do we have? Branden Sims.
My girl.
Yeah, we got Branden Sims. He's won just about everything you can win in a RZR. Baja 1000, UTV World Championship, Mint 400. We got Krysten Anderson. She is the latest gravedigger driver, daughter of the, world-famous Dennis Anderson, one of the all-time greats as far as monster trucks are concerned. And we got my co-host, Amy Hood, newest Monster Jam zombie driver. So it's going to be one fun one today, Hood.
Yeah, definitely. I'm excited. Let's do it.
Yeah, like good mix of just about everybody. I don't know, pulling from all kinds of disciplines. I like shows like that. But not only that, we got a lot to get to, some big news coming out of WRC, and a lot of Baja 1000 news, and a whole lot more. So hang tight. It's going to be a heck of a ride today on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When R.J. Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning RZR XP 1000. R.J. is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris RZRs to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris RZRs RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris RZR vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. MTX Audio is the leader in sound. Whether you're looking for high-quality, all-weather motorsports audio products like soundbars, amplifiers, and speakers that will work on any UTV or motorcycle, need to dial in your car or home with high-performance audio solutions, or are looking for a new portable speaker or set of headphones, MTX Audio has what you need to get your project sounding as good as it looks. MTX Audio is a family-owned American manufacturer who has been in business for over 40 years. Check out the full line of products at mtx.com. Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Welcome back to everybody's favorite action motorsports radio show. Jim Beaver here with Amy Hood. And I got to ask you, Hood, I got to put you on the spot here. So we're like a week removed now from you making this blockbuster announcement. What's the fallout been like? How you feeling? Like, are you just amped? Like, you ready to go? Like, let's do this? I mean, what's the feedback you've been getting? Because there's a lot of people close to you that didn't even know this was happening.
No, I know. It's kind of funny because everyone's been like, people from my hometown at least, because I've kept everything locked solid and, did not even people were. But a lot of people are like, what? Have you even driven one before? Yes, actually. I spent the last couple months down at Monster Jam University training, so I have. But, I'm really excited. It sucks that we have, a month and a bit off before, our first round in January. But I'm feeling really tired. Let me just tell you that, because I have been busting my butt every day in the gym to get a little bit stronger to be able to manhandle, not just the monster truck, but the ATV and the Monster Jam Speedster. It's going to be a hard season, so I got to put in a lot of work on the off time here.
Yeah. See, we need to get you out to the Southwest. You can go and shred some razors around with me and get you dialed in for that portion of it.
Oh, my gosh, yes. Please help me. You know what? Surprisingly, I only did one Terracross race, but
yeah.
The racers they're speedsters. We call them Monster Jam Speedsters in our sport. The racers in yours, but they're pretty challenging. Like, we do an obstacle course, and that's fun. I have no problem with that, but it's the racing that I need to get down a little bit better, just really knowing how far I can push these machines and what their limits are. And it's kind of like, it's a flat track type of style track. So, I've been kind of testing the limits. I didn't want to go too fast and high side and roll them, but I definitely need a little bit more practice on the razor, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of, I don't know. I was thinking about it. Like, I was like, that's got to be really kind of weird. I know local news picked you up and did a story with you there in the local news too, right?
Yeah. Here in Winnipeg, it's not going to be released, I think, until either next week. Just about the sports star of the week, I guess, which is cool. But Jim, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Have you, in your whole Down and Dirty radio show career, ever had a monster truck driver on the show?
Oh yeah, we had Cynthia Gutierrez on. I've had Joe Sylvester on. Todd,
really?
Yeah, Todd LeDuc's been on. Yeah, so no, we've done it's not like a regular thing, but I've definitely had monster truck drivers on before.
Well, that's awesome. Yeah, I remember bringing Cynthia on the show. We chatted with her before she came over to Terracross.
Yeah. Joe's a buddy of mine. I get a text every once in a while from him, and I know he kind of bounces around and does a lot of things. I mean, he does monster trucks, and I know he set a world record jump, but I know he's bouncing in and out of Monster Jam, and he does a bunch of other stuff too, but that him, Todd LeDuc, I'm just trying to think. There's got to be somebody else mixed in there too, maybe at some point.
Todd's pretty. Well, today you get 2 monster truck drivers on your show.
Right?
So you're very special.
Yeah, no, it's going to be fun. This has got to be probably one of Krysten's first interviews, maybe.
It is. Pressure's on. No, just kidding.
No, that'll be.
She's got to warm up to the crowd and the fans and media because being Dennis Anderson's daughter, she has some huge feet to fill, and she's just a little girl, but she's definitely making her mark this year on the industry, and I'm so excited again to have her on my team because we're already great friends, and it's going to be a fun journey together for sure. And I can't wait to see her progress and really come into her own and develop her own fan following, not just the fan following of Gravedigger, but the fans of Krysten Anderson.
Yeah, it should be cool.
And we're competitors, and look at all this love I'm dishing out. Yeah. He's my competitor.
You know what, though? It's that way in Terracross, though. I mean, with 99% of us, I mean, even in Trophy Truck, I mean, we go and we'll bang doors and, and put and rip each other's body panels off, and then afterwards, hey, let's have a beer. It's just, I don't know. I think that's racing for the most part. I mean, I know there's places.
Not motocross.
Well, I mean,
competitors are cutthroat. They don't even speak to each other.
Yeah.
Never mind bringing them on the radio show and giving them tons of publicity.
Yeah. So no, it's different. I like being cordial with people I race against.
I prefer it this way, of course.
Yeah,
I love it this way, way better.
Nobody wants to go walking around in a dark cloud and angry all the time. Like, that's no fun. Do have to give a shout out to the Arizona Republic, big newspaper in Arizona. It's basically our newspaper for the entire state. They voted me one of the top 35 entrepreneurs in the state of Arizona. So no idea how the heck that happened, but I guess I got to go to Phoenix next week to the state and get some award or something like that. So thanks to them. I've been getting some hit with a lot of messages from all these businesses in Phoenix and different media outlets and things like that. And so I don't know, maybe we'll get this on a couple new networks, Hood.
Let's do it.
I know. We still got to get it on Winnipeg, man. We need to get this thing airing up there in Winnipeg.
I know.
Yeah, I gotta get to work on that. So. Oh, man. Other than that, it's been crazy. I got a project December 6th. I know we said I'm going to make that big announcement. You've had this monster truck thing go off. I was at SEMA. SEMA is absolutely madness.
Crazy.
It's nuts.
My Instagram literally blew up for, it's still blowing up still from SEMA. It was crazy. It was a SEMA takeover.
Yeah, it's weird to me. Like, I've been going to SEMA for years, and I mean, 10 years ago when I went, when I was racing, but nobody really cared, right? And now, even when I started the show, it was I did it, then I did some signings or this and that. Now to the point I walk around SEMA and people know me, and that's kind of weird to me. I've gone the whole thing where I was just this faceless person in the crowd, and now all of a sudden I walk through SEMA and people actually know me. So I walk up to somebody's booth, and it's not like I have to do an introduction or a pitch. They already know who I am, and so it's kind of it's kind of cool. I still though I get claustrophobic. You're in these buildings, right? And they're big buildings. But you get deep into these buildings, and there's 50,000 people in this building, and it's literally shoulder to shoulder, and you can't see daylight. I start getting claustrophobic in there. It's man, just give me space, It's kind of I don't know. It's kind of weird. I'm not a claustrophobic person, but SEMA can do it to me. I don't know what it
really?
is. Yeah, it's just when I can't see daylight, all you see is people. And walls, it's there's just something about it. It's I got to get out of here and get some fresh air. So, I don't know. It's just the only place in the world that I can ever go that does that to me. It's SEMA. So,
I want to go there so bad. I would just love to take a look at everything and check everything out. I would be a gawker and a tourist for sure.
Yeah, I know I had a bunch of our sponsors and stuff. I was there in meetings and things like that. They're man, we just totally should have had you out here doing live radio. And I'm yeah. So I think next year, just plan on it. We'll be out there for a couple days and do some live radio out there, because I know there's a lot of our partners in the show and stuff are just kind of why the heck weren't you out here this year? And I'm well, you never called, So
that sounds. I'm down. You know that.
Yeah. Well, now you're a full-on four-wheel person, so you got a reason to be there.
I know.
Yeah. So we'll get you lined up with a bunch of autograph signings and such. So.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, I'm going to keep you busy, Hood.
I'll just go check stuff out. I just want to go look around.
Now, you've come to my world now. I am going to keep you busy. You trust me. I don't know. You're going to want to go back to two wheels before this thing's over with.
No, never. Nope.
Don't say never. Never.
I'll always keep my two wheels, but I'm now stuck in four, so
yeah,
I like it like that.
Should be fun. So what do you have to do? I mean, we only got a minute left before we got to take a break, though. But seriously, I mean, now that you've done all your training and stuff like that, next couple of months, I mean, what do you have to do to get ready for that first round?
It's really just getting physically ready, because when I'm training in the off season, getting ready for motocross, It's a lot more physically demanding, definitely. But whenever I'm in my best physical condition, I'm also in my best mental condition. So I really want to go in this 100% confident and ready to rock. And I just, put in the hours at the gym and be ready. Like, I'm ready. I'm already ready. Like, let's be honest. I'm just passing the time now. Yeah. So might as well just go to the gym and look really good at autograph signing. So.
Makes a lot of sense to me. All right, we're gonna take a short break. We come back. UTV World Champ, Mint 400 Champ, Baja 1000 Champ, and Polaris Razor Factory Driver Branden Sims. Yeah, he's a champ. We just need to shorten it to Champ. I'm going to tell him that when he gets on air. But Branden Sims coming up next after the break. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty radio show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it. So when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our Razor vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of Razor vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a Razor 170 like me, take the entire family out in a Razor XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new Razor XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris Razor. Check out the full Polaris Razor lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor. Are you looking for a place to push yourself behind the wheel and see how your driving skills stack up? Dirtfish Rally School is that place. Located on 315 acres of pristine automotive playground at the foot of the Cascade Mountains in Snoqualmie, Washington, right outside of Seattle, Dirtfish Rally School is a one-of-a-kind place where everyone from first-time drivers to seasoned professionals like Bucky Lassick and Antoine Lestage can push themselves to their limit. Whether driving the high-performance rally-prepped all-wheel drive Subaru Impreza STI is what you're looking for, or you'd rather hang it all out in the rear-wheel drive Subaru BRZs, Dirtfish Rally School has something for everyone. Classes are available from 2 hours to 3 full days and feature instructors with over 150 years of combined racing experience. Whether you're looking to become the best and get an edge on the competition, or just looking to freshen your skills behind the wheel, Dirtfish Rally School is the place to go. For more information on registering for classes, visit Dirtfish on the web at dirtfish.com, or to check out the latest happenings from Dirtfish, follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Dirtfish Rally. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver, Amy Hood here. Looks like we got my Polaris Razor teammate Branden Sims on the line. How's everything going, Branden?
Oh, man, it couldn't be better.
Yeah, well, Amy and I got this dilemma, dude, and we don't know what to call you because I go through this spiel and it's got too long here. So I'm going Branden Sims, UTV World Champion, Mint 400 Champion, Baja 1000 Champion. So we decided we're just going to shortcut it and just call you Champ. Branden Sims, the Champ. How's that work?
The Champ.
I'll go with that.
Yeah, just hashtag the Champ.
That's right.
Perfect. We're going to make it stick.
Yeah, we're going to make
it a butt patch or something.
Yeah. So speaking of that, what do you still need? I know you don't have a Terracross championship yet, and I know there was some conflicts this year, so we didn't see you in Terracross. But other than that, I mean, I know you're in the running for Best in the Desert championship right now, right?
Yes, that would be my next big one. Right now, I'm sitting first in points with one race left to go. So
yes, that's going to be the next big one that I really want.
Yeah. So how does it now? I know you just made the announcement you're going to the Baja 1000 here. What are we, 2 weeks out, week and a half out from the Baja 1000?
We're
1
week out.
So you made that announcement. How does that play into the Best in the Desert plans? Because Best in the Desert, the finale there is literally like 2 weeks after the Baja 1000. So are you running your car, or are you running in your teammate's car?
No, I'm running in my car, and, the only weekend I have between the Baja 1000 and the last Best in Desert race is going to be Thanksgiving weekend, and that's not one weekend that I want to sit here and work on all my stuff. It's all going to depend on how the Baja 1000 goes. Either way, even if it goes well, that's going to be, almost 900 miles on my race car that I'm going to have to completely go through with 1 week before, or, 1 week in between, the last race of the Best of Desert series. And that last race is going to be kind of a determining factor whether, I can get that championship or not, because, I've got a couple guys that are close to me in points, so I have to do well.
Yeah, so you pretty much just told Bailey, like, check it out. I'm checking off the grid for the next 3 weeks, and we'll see in about a month, honey. Is that kind of where we're at?
It's exactly where it's at. It's tough, but it's hard to juggle that. And that's where it's at. I'm going to be working on the car for basically 3 weeks straight. Whether it's racing or working on it. Even this week it's tough. I've been this last weekend I worked on the car all weekend. I'm also trying to build a shop at my house so that I can convert basically all my prep and building to my shop at my house, and that's been taking up a bunch of my time. So I'm having a tough time, getting everything done, but somehow I'm making it happen.
That'll be nice once you get the shop done, though. And I know where you guys' race shop is at. I don't quite know where your house is at in PV, but it'll be nice because you'll be at home. You can, you basically tell her, hey, I'm going in the backyard. It's not like it's not going to be tough to find you. You're going to be 10 feet out the back door. So that'll be kind of nice once you finally get that. Everything will be kind of consolidated there at the house, and you can just kind of come and go out of the shop when you need to.
I was thinking about just putting a bed in there, and I'll have a refrigerator and a microwave, and I probably just ought to move out into the shop.
Yeah. Have you seen Amy's shop?
Yeah, I hear you.
You ought to see Amy's shop in Canada. She's got a garage in her backyard, and she calls it the Babe Cave, and it's like seriously, it's a man cave for girls. But she's got all these.
I bought a house that came. I bought a shop that came with a house, so it's pretty funny. I'm a little girl who lives alone, and I have a giant motocross shop that's bigger than the house I live in. It's awesome. All my friends keep their stuff in here in the wintertime, though. So.
That's rad.
So yeah, Baja 1000. Tell me about this. How did you guys get this program put together? Because I knew you told me earlier in the year you're hoping to run the Baja 1000. I don't know. It was kind of a toss up. You weren't really super committed, but how did this all get put together now?
Well, it kind of stems back with I was running it with Johnny the last few years. And we had some great runs. We got the win, I think 2 years ago, I want to say that we got the win down there. And since then, I've always wanted to do it on my own program. I just never really had the equipment, the trucks, the amount of people, and the time and the money that's involved with it, And then this year, Polaris has, obviously wanted me to go down there and do it. And, I kind of basically told them that I would make it happen one way or another. And fortunately, my buddy, it's one of my best friends, Jake Carver. He's actually he got picked up as my teammate, through Polaris Razor now. So we are teammates. And I asked him if, that'd be something if he was interested in doing with me this year, because, that's a tough part, is finding somebody that you can trust to race your car, deliver it without wrecking it, and somebody that you can trust that's going to be fast and be competitive down there. And, between him and I, we've scored quite a few podiums here this year in Best in the Desert, and so I think between him and I, we've got a pretty good program put together. He's got a pretty good chase truck as well, and we're going to just basically combine our two teams into one, and I think we'll have a great setup.
Yeah, and that's a thing talking about him. You kind of burst on the scene a couple of years ago, and it was one of those things where you were, people in the small, UTV racing circle had known about you, but you kind of came out of nowhere. It's one thing I've always liked about Polaris Razor. They saw your talent and they picked you up, and immediately it's paid them dividends, right? And Jake was another guy like that. Like going into this year, people kind of knew about him, but he got there where he was getting pretty quick, and Polaris immediately like, oh, we're going to sign this guy.
Exactly. We never really had anything besides, we've been friends for 10 years now, and we've been riding together for 10 years. That's how I met him. Was we used to ride together when we had Yamaha Rhinos, and we started racing smaller organizations, and it was always him and I. We're very competitive with each other, and we've just been friends, and we've done this for, he was actually my co-driver a few races, the first few races that I got into in Best in the Desert. He was my co-driver, and then the first Baja 500 where we scored a second place, he was my co-driver for that as well. So, I think he got the bug to get into the big races and just kind of like I did, and then, proved himself. I mean, we didn't have anything. We didn't know anybody, and it just came down to proving ourselves and showing that we were, very competitive, and, we ran a good program, and it paid off for both of us, and which we were able to give back to Polaris by showing, that we were going to be super competitive with their machines.
Yeah. Well, I got to ask you, your program, I mean, a lot of guys, I mean, you look at Branden and Johnny and Mitch, and I think even Jake, a lot of the faster teams have gone to the 4-seat platform. Here you are, you're like the one guy that, that's still on a 2-seat, but you're still beating everybody. And everybody's like, oh, the 4-seaters are faster. And here's Branden in a 2-seat going, I don't know what the heck you guys are talking about,
Because he's the champ.
Yeah.
He's the champ.
That's I've always felt real comfortable in my 2-seater. I wish it was a hair bit longer. I feel the 2-seater, I've put a lot of time and I've logged a lot of miles in the 4-seaters, whether it was Johnny's, in Baja. And I felt, equally as comfortable in the 4-seater, but the 2-seater, I feel like, especially on the tight turn roads, in Baja when I'm trying to navigate the sharp turns, and you get to the middle of a corner and say there's an obstacle, whether it's a rock or a washout or something in a corner that you don't know is going to be there. With a 2-seater, I feel like I can suck it up a little bit and, miss that obstacle that's in that corner. With the 4-seater, I'm sideways and I'm like, oh man, I'm going to hit that, and there's nothing I can do about it, and so, I think that's the advantage of the 2-seaters. Obviously, the 4-seaters are going to have the advantage in the whoops. In Best in the Desert, I don't tend to run into the whoops sections like you do in Baja, so it's going to be interesting to see how this 2-seater chassis does down there in Baja. I'm looking forward to seeing if we can give. My biggest issue I run into with the 2-seat is with this turbo, the fuel economy is not quite where I had hoped. So with the amount of fuel that I carry on my car, I'm looking at about 20 gallons of fuel, where a lot of the 4-seaters are running 30 gallons of fuel, if not more.
Yeah.
So that's my biggest issue.
Yeah, that's a big difference.
Yeah, because I'm looking at, running about 110 miles on a tank of fuel, where the 4-seaters are looking, I think, around 180. So it kind of changes our whole pit strategy. Rather than pitting almost every 200 miles, we have to pit, about every 100. And it's kind of hard, logistic-wise to plan around that. The one benefit was that of pitting every 100 is that you get to look at the car, or the pit crew gets to look at the car and see if there's anything that's detrimental to continuing on and catching it before, it fails. So we're just going to see how it plays out. And, I guess we'll just have to pit a few more times than the 4-seat chassis.
Yeah. Well, I got to ask you, going into next year, big news. You and I have both kind of known this was coming, but, the Best in the Desert, but Polaris RZR, the new 2017 turbo, more horsepower. I mean, they've pretty much, it's like the Turbo 2.0. They took everything, not that anything was wrong with the 2016, but they perfected it with the 2017. And then you add to the fact in Best in the Desert, now we've got a rule change where the ECUs are open and we can change injectors and stuff. Dude, I'm looking at these RZRs going, man, we're going to have 100-mile-an-hour RZRs hands down going into next season.
It's crazy. I've been looking at that too, and I look at it sometimes and I'm like, wow, that's scary. That's high speeds for these little machines, and I'm hoping, that a lot of these people that are building these cars are looking into that and saying, I got to make sure that this is safe for, me and my co-driver to be in at those speeds, because, that's fast. As it is, the times we're turning in these things, we're running in towards the top, the top 8 or top probably 5 classes, as far as finishing times. And that's, pretty remarkable for what these machines were designed for. And, now where we've been or where we've taken them, it's just, remarkable.
Yeah, I'm excited for next year, but the same thing. It's like, man, I hope the safety standards these guys are building these cars to, are up to code, and, seats and harnesses. And, I mean, there's ways to shortcut things, and I'm just looking at it going, man, we got some, which is great for the sport. We have legit race cars now. I think the old golf cart adage is in the wind at this point. There's nobody that's going to call one of these a golf cart. They're closer to a Class 10 car than anything. But, man, I mean, this is, we're talking some real race cars now.
Exactly, yeah, and they're going to have to accept that, I mean, they've come a long ways, and it's amazing how far they've come in, say 5 years even, to where we're at now. And, yeah, they're not a golf cart anymore. I mean, we're running 20 inches of travel plus, front and rear. Four-wheel drive, and, now we're going to, even, next year with the tuned ECUs, we're going to see 200 horsepower cars out there. So, I mean, for the power-to-weight ratio, that's a pretty, extreme numbers that we're looking at.
Yeah, for sure. All right, buddy, we got to let you go. We got to take a short break, but good luck in Baja. We will definitely see you at Pahrump. And
thank you.
Good luck.
I hope we can catch up after and go through our awesome race and let you know that first place was great and let you know how it went. So.
Yeah, I can guarantee you.
Your new name too, the champ.
Yeah, the champ.
That's awesome.
All right. Thanks a lot, Branden.
Thanks, guys. You guys have a wonderful day.
All right, you too.
Bye.
Bye. All right, that was Branden Sims. We're going to take a short break. We got Krysten Anderson coming up next. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty radio show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it. So when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our RZR vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of RZR vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a RZR 170 like me, take the entire family out in a RZR XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new RZR XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris RZR. Check out the full Polaris RZR lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Life is all about sound. The sound of sports. The sound of the racetrack. And the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at kchighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Jim Beaver, Amy Hood here, joined on the line by new Monster Jam driver and daughter of Monster Jam legend Dennis Anderson. We got Krysten Anderson on the line, and we're going to let Amy Hood, who is friends with Krysten, I guess kind of take it from here.
Yes. Welcome, Krysten. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Amy, what are you doing?
Just hanging out here in Canada, and Jim's over in Arizona, and I guess you're over in North Carolina. So we got people from all over the place here.
Gotta love the internet.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, I'm really excited to have you on, girl. I mean, not only my competitor, but also my friend joining me on the Monster Jam Triple Threat Central Tour. Krysten, I mean, girl, you are taking over a huge, huge legacy. It's Gravedigger's 35th anniversary this year in Monster Jam, and I mean, you got an exciting year ahead of you. Kind of tell us a little bit about how you got into Monster Jam this year. Because you got a little bit of a different story. I mean, not like mine, who comes from a huge background of racing forever. You kind of have a little different way of getting involved.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. My dad, he's been in Gravedigger for the past 35 years. He's put his entire life into Gravedigger. He started from the very, very bottom and worked his way all the way to the top. And I'm 19 years old, so ever since I was born, since I came out, it's been nothing but Gravedigger and Monster Jam and motorsports. And, like, this is all I know. It's my whole life. I mean, I've watched my brothers, grow in Monster Jam, too. They all started really young, and they've all, Ryan and Adam both have made, like, huge, huge names for themselves. And I've always been involved in the sport, and I've always wanted to get in the seat. I finally got my opportunity, so I did.
But you were telling me you almost wanted to get into graphic design and be in a whole different part of Monster Jam. You wanted to design the graphics or the chassis, or what was that?
Oh, yeah. I wanted to go to school for graphic design because I have a knack for drawing and painting. And so I was actually on my way to college, and I wanted to study graphic design, and I was going to try and get a job with Feld Motorsports in the Monster Jam department designing the trucks, like designing the bodies for the trucks and the names and their paint schemes. But I got an interesting phone call not long ago, and I got an opportunity to sit in the seat. So I just had to see if it was in my blood, man, and I had so much fun when we went to the Monster Jam University in Paxton. That's where I met Amy and Bernard, and I got to meet the rest of them, and me and Amy became such good friends. We were roommates, and it's been awesome. I'm excited for the year.
Well, I know.
Yeah, I'm excited too.
Yeah, well, I know, Krysten. I got to ask. I know, like, Amy and I had Courtney Force on air. I don't know, like 6 months ago or something like that. And it's funny because it's
about 4 months ago.
Well, I can't remember. They all blend together at this point. But anyways, we had Courtney on, and it's funny because it's kind of a similar situation to you. You know, she grew up in drag racing with her dad, John Force, and it was just one of the things. She was at the track, and all she understood was drag racing from the time she was a little girl. So it kind of, she said she didn't have any pressure, but it was just kind of like that was her career path. I mean, was there ever any pressure by your dad? Hey, we want you to go Monster Jam racing. It was totally just kind of organically happened, and you just kind of migrated that way.
No, I definitely just migrated that way. My dad's always been supportive of anything I wanted to do, and he was gung-ho and behind me about doing graphic design and going to college. And I did best in school out of all my brothers. I always was on 80 honor roll. I can't really speak for Adam and Ryan, but they had the itch, like, as soon as they got out of high school, they were ready to get in trucks and into motorsports and stuff. And I was kind of leaning towards college, and Dad kind of let me, but it just kind of happened, I sat in the seat, and I had a great time, and it just came natural to me. So it was an opportunity I really couldn't miss out on. It's been fun.
Yeah, well, and here's a question.
I've seen little old ladies at college, okay? Yeah. Like, you can go back to college anytime. When you can.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, college
jump in a monster truck? I don't know.
Yeah. College is always there. It's always there for anybody.
Yeah. Well, here's a question. So Triple Threat Tour, obviously you excelled at the monster trucks. How is this jumping in? I call them Polaris Razors. I know you guys are supposed to call them Speedsters, and then racing the ATVs. I mean, how is that? Because you're mixing in 3 different disciplines with this Triple Threat Tour.
It actually keeps it pretty interesting. It keeps the show, keeps everybody on their toes. You never really know what's coming out of the alley next, but the truck kind of came natural to me. I've actually never ridden on a clutch ATV, so I had a little bit of trouble with it. I'm not gonna lie, but Amy, she's had so much experience with motocross and stuff. She's been a really big help to me, you know, trying to keep up with Amy and keep the pace for me. But I say,
okay, hey Krysten,
what?
I'm gonna have to stop you right there, girl. Jim, I have never seen anybody with no motorsports experience, like no riding a 50, no riding like an electric scooter. Girl, I don't think you've been on anything with a clutch before in my life. I have never seen anybody being able to pick it up as fast as she. And again, we're driving 450 like race quads. They're extremely snappy, really poppy. Like, I can't believe how much, Krysten, that you've been able to manhandle those things with no experience. Like, I was shocked. It was pretty funny when you were talking about it. And, you know, there's a couple other people who didn't have experience either, and you could really tell because they were afraid of the throttle. They were afraid to, you know, hold her wide open in the straightaways. Well, no, not Krysten. There she is, like, holding the throttle as wide open as possible down the straightaways, and I was like a little mama bear, so proud of this girl. But I have to say, it's pretty cool to watch someone with no experience be able to pick it up. But that just goes to show that you've been around the race scene, like listening and watching all the years that you have. Really is a great foundation of knowledge of motorsports too. It will help you out a lot.
Thank you. Yeah, it was definitely different getting on the ATV, that's for sure. But I mean, I'd say the Speedster honestly is probably like one of the most fun things that we do because they're so like, I don't know, it's like driving a little buggy. It's like zippy and it turns over easy and you got to be really careful, but it's fun to get out there. We do the obstacle course and like we're not really supposed to, but we accidentally like bang into each other and it's kind of fun because we get to go head to head. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's like playing bumper cars with monster trucks, the smaller version.
Yeah, for sure.
Nice. So what is it? I mean, what's it like for you? I mean, you know, obviously I checked out your dad's Instagram and I was going back and reading through some of the posts, you know, on the announcement, and you can tell he's just like super proud. And I mean, there's no other monster truck that you should be stepping into as far as I'm concerned other than one of the grave digger trucks. But I mean, how is that for you? I mean, it's got to make you feel pretty proud inside, you know, to be stepping into Gravedigger. I mean, you said your dad built it from the ground up. I mean, as a kid, you know, it was one of those things where, you know, Gravedigger, it was just there. That was the one. It was the fan favorite. I mean, it literally, your dad has built.
I don't know about you, Jim, but that was mine.
Yeah, I mean, your dad has built a brand there, you know what I mean? And now, you know, for you to step into it, it's like carrying on the family legacy. That's got to be pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy. When I got the news, I'm not going to lie, like, I was so proud that it brought me to tears. You know, I watched my dad, you know, build the thing from the ground up. I've watched my brothers put in hard work into, you know, Gravedigger, and it's not just like a big year for Monster Jam. It's a big year for the Anderson family. It's the 35th anniversary, and we're all so proud to be involved. And it's crazy because I actually worked 8 years in the Digger's Dungeon for my dad, which is like the Gravedigger gift shop, but we sell like all kinds of Monster Jam novelties. I got to like meet so many fans like face to face, and it's like so crazy the reaction that like kids get when they see my dad, and it's crazy because he's my dad, and it's like we go out and they're like, "Oh my God, are you Dennis Anderson?" Like they freak out, and it's like it just makes me so proud. You know, it makes me so proud to be in that truck and represent my family.
Yeah.
Hey, Krysten, have you gotten that reality check now that after this year, people are going to be running up to you being like, "Oh my gosh, are you Krysten Anderson?" Are you ready for that? Are you ready for what's to come with, you know, the legacy that is the Andersons and Gravedigger? But now you have the opportunity to create your own path and, you know, not just the Gravedigger fans, but you're going to have Krysten Anderson fans. And, like, what does that mean to you? And how are you going to do things a little bit differently than you say your dad or your two brothers? Do you have anything planned out yet?
Well, I'm definitely excited to get out and actually meet like a lot of the fans face to face. Like since the announcement, like I've seen like hundreds and hundreds of Gravedigger Krysten Anderson edits on Instagram.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
Tagging me and stuff, making signs. Like this one little boy, he made like a Hot Wheels race, and like he raced me and Amy, and I won the Hot Wheels race. Like making videos and stuff. It just makes me like so excited to.
Hey, I never saw this video. Yeah, send it to me. That's awesome.
Yeah, he tagged us in it. This little boy, he had like this Hot Wheels ramp, and he had like Zombie versus Gravedigger, and it was in the finals. And I beat you. Like No, without a doubt. Like,
well, good thing it was up at toys because I'm not going to let it happen in real life.
Oh, we got the trash talking going on already.
Oh, no. Imagine that. You know, talking trash.
Oh, man.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that's crazy. Super surreal seeing all these. And, like, I talked about it on the show last week, but I couldn't believe how insane the fans are of Monster Jam, just how passionate and dedicated they are. I mean, I've come from a lot of different motorsports backgrounds, and I'm just, there's nothing like the Monster Jam fans. It's surreal. It's like we are these kids' idols. Not just us, but our trucks that we drive, and it's a huge, huge honor, if you will. And, like, we have a lot riding on this, and I'm just so excited to get started. Like, I can't wait, and I'm super stoked to be, one of the first female drivers driving Zombie, other than Kayla Blood. Like, she's done a really good job, putting in a couple of rides under Zombie this year, too. But, Krysten Anderson and I taking the Central Tour with the two chicks. I think that the guys have a lot to keep up with this year.
Yeah, is this like
oh, yeah.
Do they get that rivalry going on? Because I'm sure you guys are going to be, it's just tough. Like when there's a female driver in Monster Jam, it seems like they're just automatically like the fans kind of gravitate towards them. You know what I mean? So you guys feel like you've got like a little bit of an upper leg on the guys.
Duh.
Yeah,
girl.
for sure.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Have you seen like little kids? Like I've seen
plan.
on Instagram, they're already talking trash for me and Amy. Like they're even putting me and Amy next to each other. Like, will Amy and Krysten be rivals in the 2017 season? And I'm like, oh my God, it's not even here yet.
It's okay, we will though. But the best thing about it is, honestly, Krysten, I have no issue being the world's biggest girls-on-girl rivalry ever in history. We can do that because we're also great friends off the track, and that's what's important. Like, we put that helmet on, yeah, I want to beat your butt to the ground. I'm going to be honest. But when the helmet comes off, I want you to be successful. I want to be successful, and I just want to put on a great show for our fans and for Monster Jam.
Yeah, it's all about the show, right? And, that's what Amy and I were talking about. It's like an offer. Yeah, it's funny because in off-road, it's the same way. I've got some of my best friends that I race against, and we get on a course, and, we're ripping each other's fenders off and bumping into each other, and then as soon as we get out of the truck, it's like, oh, let's go have a beer together. It's just kind of the way it is. So I can see that in Monster Jam. You guys are, want to destroy each other, and then immediately it's like, all right, let's high five afterwards.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, we need bragging rights at the end of the day at the dinner table at night when we're all sitting at Texas Roadhouse talking trash to each other. Everybody needs to
eating the onion blossom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's going to be a good year. I'm really excited. And, we got such an interesting dynamic. We got Bernard, who has no motorsports experience at all, coming on board.
Oh, my gosh.
He makes the show just so much more interesting. We obviously got Camden Murphy coming from NASCAR, Xfinity Series, Justin Sipes, professional supercross driver. We got our two independents who I'm really glad to have them on our team, JR and Matt Cody, because they are the only people on our tour with any type of driving experience. So, I mean, if it was just us rookies, we would really have nobody to liaison to or ask questions about. So I'm excited to have them on tour again this year. I think we got a great group, and it's going to be the best racing series ever. I'm so stoked.
Yeah, going to be awesome. All right, Krysten, well, we got to take a break, but I appreciate you taking the time to call in. We'll definitely have to get you dialed back in maybe around the first event of the year and have you give us a ring.
Yeah, right on. Thank you all for having me. I'd love to come back on. This is fun.
All right. Thanks a lot, Krysten. Take it easy and good luck.
See you, girl. Thank you. Bye.
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 All right. We got to take a short commercial break. We come back. Going to have some Baja 1000 results coming at you on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When R.J. Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning RZR XP 1000. RJ is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris RZRs to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris Razors RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris Razor vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor.
Hey girls, grab your friends, bring your bachelorette party, even your mom, for a smoking hot night with the mates from Thunder from Down Under. That's right, ladies, direct from Vegas. It's the Outback Fantasy Tour with the guys performing live at the Blue Water Resort and Casino Saturday, December 3rd. 2 showtimes at 6 and 9 p.m. Tickets on sale now for $25 at the Blue Water Gift Shop or online at BlueWaterFun.com. Must be 21 or older.
Blue Water Resort and Casino. Right on the right on the money.
Get ready for some serious country music from the one and only Dwight Yoakam. Live in concert Saturday, December 10th at the Blue Water Amphitheater at the Blue Water Resort and Casino. Gates open at 2. Show starts at 3. General admission tickets in advance for $40. VIP tickets are $75. General admission day of the show is $60. Visit BlueWaterFun.com and reserve your tickets now. Dwight Yoakam live at the Blue Water Resort and Casino. Don't miss it.
Blue Water Resort and Casino. Right on the water, right on the money.
MTX Audio is the leader in sound. Whether you're looking for high-quality, all-weather motorsports audio products like soundbars, amplifiers, and speakers that will work on any UTV or motorcycle, need to dial in your car or home with high-performance audio solutions, or are looking for a new portable speaker or set of headphones, MTX Audio has what you need to get your project sounding as good as it looks. MTX Audio is a family-owned American manufacturer who has been in business for over 40 years. Check out the full line of products at MTX.com. Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at kchighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. We've had Branden Sims, the champ, on. We've had Krysten Anderson. Lots of fun. Got Vaughn Gittin Jr. coming up at the top of the hour. Right now, we got to get to some quick Baja 1000 qualifying results going down there at SEMA last week. And Kyle LeDuc, Mark Post, and the team of Ed Herbst, throw him in there as well. Taking the pole, Kyle LeDuc bringing that short course experience over to trophy truck side of things and putting that, I guess, one of the winningest off-road trucks ever on the pole there at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Ricky Johnson teaming with Justin Matney, finishing in second in that all-wheel drive truck there for qualifying. We got Robbie Gordon in third, Craig Potts, the legend Rob McCachran in fifth, Ryan Arciero, Brett Serapis, Jesse Jones, and Andy McMillan, and then Dan McMillan rounding out the top 10. You got Luke McMillan, a trio of McMillans, 9th, 10th, and 11th. Then you got my buddy Cameron Steele, Steven Eugenio, B.J. Baldwin, and Billy Wilson round out your top 15. Also had some trophy truck specs qualifying there. We had Javier Quirones taking home the top spot in trophy truck specs. So, Baja 1000, about a week and a half away. I think it's a little odd that they qualify at Las Vegas Motor Speedway for the biggest desert race of the year that's in Mexico, like 500 miles away. I don't know, it'd be like having Monster Energy Cup qualifying in Florida or something. I don't know. Just, to me, it doesn't make sense, but who am I to say? I don't know. Anyways, there's your results. We got to take a short commercial break, and when we come back, we got some rally news coming at you, and then we're going to have Vaughn Gittin Jr. calling in as well. So that Dirtfish Rally Report coming up here shortly here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor.
I'm Polaris rider Lee Valley, and I choose Polaris just because they have the best quality, highest performing, most fun machines out there.
Only one company has taken Levi LaValle to 10 X Games medals, snowcross championships, a double backflip, and a world record long jump of 412 feet across the San Diego Harbor on New Year's Eve, and that company is Polaris. Whether it's dominating the X Games, racing a stock Polaris RZR XP1000 in the Terracross Championship, or just hitting the trail on the weekend, for over 20 years, Levi has relied on the same quality Polaris vehicles and products you can purchase at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of action sports legend Levi LaValle and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Jim Beaver with Monster Jam's own zombie driver, Amy Hood. It's kind of got a nice ring to it, Hood. I'm kind of digging it. Like, I don't know. It's the whole zombie truck. Like, if they would have put you in something else, I don't know. Zombie truck, like, that so fits you. Like, that's...
I know.
It's so perfect.
I know. But it's, I don't want to lose my moto chick hashtag. You know, I'm still always going to be a moto chick.
Now you're like zombie chick. Hashtag zombie chick.
Yeah, I hope at some point in my career, maybe if I kick butt at the Central Tour and, you know, earn my spot at World Finals, like, I would love to do some type of tribute where I could, like, come down to Vegas, you know, like, get into the stadium, wheel in on my dirt bike, and then park it, hop into my monster truck. Like, I really want to be able to incorporate moto into my Monster Jam career somehow. You know, just stick to my roots. And, you know, again, I never want to change who I am, and I refuse not to. Like, I will always be a moto chick at heart. I'm still going to go ride, and I'm probably going to go riding Friday or maybe even today. It's really nice out. But how cool would that be if I could come in and, like, wheelie into the stadium on my dirt bike and then hop in my truck?
There's got to be there's
got
to be a way to figure it out. I'm sure.
I'm going to run the idea by them. I have so many ideas.
I'm sure they'll work it out. But we got to get to a Dirtfish Rally Report here shortly because we got Vaughn Gittin Jr. coming up. Dirtfish Rally Report brought to you by our good friends at Dirtfish Rally School. Find out more information on the web, www.dirtfish.com. And don't forget to use that code JBDirtfish for 15% off your next class there at the Fish. So big news coming out of WRC. Volkswagen pulling out like 4 championships in a row or something like that. I'm losing track. They've won so many championships in a rally, it's like who's counting at this point. But pulling out of WRC strictly from the standpoint, it wasn't WRC. They've got this big lawsuit and recall going on, and the whole deal with the diesel debacle where they fudged gas or fudged fuel mileage ratings or something globally, and they're having to pay off that. So anyways, they needed the money from their WRC program to funnel towards that. You know, heartbreaker for WRC. The big news is they've got Sebastian Ogier, who is one of the greatest rally drivers of all time. Now he's without a ride, so M Sport is currently courting him. I know he's a big fan of M Sport boss Malcolm Wilson. We've also got Citron, his old team, currently courting him, so I'm sure he's going to land somewhere. And then the cars, it sounds like Red Bull is interested in buying these cars. Obviously, they're front-running podium cars, so Red Bull is interested in buying them, possibly running their own team in WRC. So lots of drama going on in WRC, and we'll keep you updated when we learn more. That was your Dirtfish Rally Report for this week, and we're going to take a short commercial break. We come back, it's Vaughn Gittin Jr. on the line here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When R.J. Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning RZR XP1000. RJ is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris RZRs to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris RZRs RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder R.J. Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris RZR vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR.
Life Life is all about sound. The sound of sports. The sound at the racetrack. And the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver, Amy Hood here, and we're joined by fun haver extraordinaire, Vaughn Gittin Jr. What is up, Vaughn?
What is happening?
Oh, man, I don't know. I was at SEMA for one day, in and out. You were there for a week, man. It always feels like it's just a breath of fresh air when SEMA's over. I don't know. How about you?
Yeah, without a question. SEMA's a blast. It's something that, you look forward to but dread at the same time. It's a very busy week, and, getting everything ready leading up to it is normally insane, and let alone a week in Vegas, add all that up, and it's pretty draining.
Yeah, I think everybody's got a love-hate relationship with that place. Like, it's such a, like you said, you look forward to it. It's so massive, like you've got to be there. But you can, you see those memes, and it talks like the girls, like it shows a Barbie doll on Monday of SEMA week, and she's all done up, and then before the show starts, and then it shows a Barbie doll on Friday after SEMA's over. It's all like destroyed.
Worn out.
Yeah, exactly. I totally get it, man. But dude, I gotta say, you're coming over to my world. You got this badass new Bronco you built, and dude, that thing is sick.
Ooh.
Oh man, you gotta bring me in the loop on this. I know you talked about you wanted to start doing some stuff in the off-road space. How did this all get put together?
Sure. So last year I had the opportunity to go and experience and race in King of the Hammers, the Ultra 4 Series, and I raced a spec truck in the 4800 class. I think over 100 vehicles started, and I think less than 40 finished, and we ended up finishing in the top 5. And I became, I guess, one of the first crossover drivers ever even finished King of the Hammers, let alone, with the top 10. And I just, I fell in love with the challenge. I liked what, I just liked the whole vibe that was going on out there, and the off-road community, as you know, is super rad. And so I called Jimmy's 4x4, the guys who built the spec truck I raced, and I was like, hey, I want to build a truck to come play a bit. And so what I ended up with was they built me one of their IFS 4500 chassis, which is a chassis that is or a race truck that is basically built to the rules of the 4500 class, which is a class just below the Ultra Unlimited 4400 class. And I'll be racing King of the Hammers this year, or 2017, and then potentially, if the schedule allows, maybe do another race or two, and also, some fun projects. So very, very exciting for me. We put a classic Bronco body on it, put a cool livery on it, and tested it for the first time Monday before SEMA, and my mind was blown.
Yeah. Well, that's what I think was cool about it. I've seen a ton of Ultra 4 cars, and it's kind of one of those things where how builds go for anything. It's like, it can be an amazing build, but you've seen so many of them, it's just like monotony after a while. I saw the body on this one, and I went, oh, you killed it. Like, you picked the perfect body for this thing. I think if you would have put anything else on it, nobody would have really gave a rip. But you put the Bronco body on it, dude, and it just made the whole project. Just the grill made the whole project to me.
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously, I'm a Ford guy through and through, and there was no other option. If I'm going in the dirt, it's a classic Bronco. So, but yeah, I mean, I don't know if you checked it out, but the guys at Jimmy's 4x4, I mean, the work that they did and the fabrication and, everything is just, it's really next level. And, we put a Ford Performance 427 crate motor in there. It makes 600 horsepower, and it's got some other shock tabs and things like that to where we can, easily enhance it for, some fun in the desert. And, it's kind of a multi-purpose vehicle of smiles of sorts.
Yeah, well, that's a cool thing. I mean, you can take it, you can run all these Ultra 4 events, but I've seen some guys like Shannon Campbell, who's a buddy of mine, and he's taken his cars to Best in the Desert, and he's gone to like the mid 400 and stuff like that and run them and done really well. They're pretty capable vehicles where, I think you built the right vehicle because you can pretty much go anywhere and go and run a race and be competitive.
Yeah, and that was the goal. Not to have a one-trick pony, especially with the investment of something like that. So, I don't have any big grand plans other than to try new things and challenge myself and have as much fun as possible. And the things got a passenger seat obviously for a co-driver, but I hope to put some events together where I can, give some people experiences, kind of like I do with drift and things like that. So we're just, building out the fun fleet and, gonna keep on pushing with it.
Yeah, I saw you got rid of your Razor in favor of Brand X, dude. I gotta get you out one of these new Razors. I know Polaris would be game on it, but we gotta get you one of these new 168 horsepower turbo Razors, dude. I think your mind would be blown with this thing. Just out of the box. I'm like, I gotta get you in touch with Polaris at some point. We gotta get back into the right brand, man.
Well, I mean, that does sound like an impressive horsepower number, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, I know you have a lot of fun in UTVs though. You've been out shredding that thing for quite a bit.
Yeah, no, I'm on the East Coast, so my favorite thing to do is sneak off for the weekend and with the boys and go mob trails. Like we just. We'll radio communication and, someone will go up and, clear the trail and we'll just go for a good rip and, and then obviously the cruising after. So it's just a blast, man. It's just a nice being out there with nature. And man, I just love being behind the wheel and, something about the no holds barred and freedom of being out on the UTV is just a blast. So, yeah, no, I've been having a blast and upgrading upgrading it a bit and put some king shocks on it.
I saw that.
It's interesting. It's kind of a new space for me. I used to race motocross and but I've been riding UTVs for the past since they came out almost, and it's just amazing to see the progression. I know. You're obviously aligned with Polaris, but everyone is just pushing the limits, and I just think it's a really cool place.
Yeah, it's they literally have, I've told people there's factory warfare going on, and obviously I waved the Polaris Razor flag, but, Arctic Cat and Can-Am and Yamaha, I mean, everybody's coming to the table with something now. I mean, it's pretty impressive. Every year people are trying to one-up each other as far as the manufacturers go, and it's steamrolled into some pretty wild, things for guys like us that want to just go out and have fun.
Yeah. Yeah, the bounce for me, I definitely, have multiple Polarises, and the bounce for me with the Yamaha, the shifter, and I kind of prefer to keep the engine stock because I'm rough on stuff and I don't want to be working on my UTV. I just want to go drive it. So I really enjoy having that level of control. But like I said, I mean, everybody out there is really killing it. So it's just a really cool place, and man, I'd love to go riding. I've never even done any riding out here out west, so it would be fun to get together and do something.
Oh yeah, dude, we go on trail rides all the time. I know, like even Ronnie Renner and I were talking about doing one. It'd be fun to get like you and get Ronnie Renner and like RJ Anderson and a bunch of us that all have Razors. We were talking about doing one big group ride or something at some point. I know Jolene Van Buet was wanting to come out, and so like it'd be fun to get a bunch of us together and just go out on a big long ride for a day or two.
Yeah, I would love that. So keep me posted. And going back to the buggy, like the Ultra 4 truck, it's interesting. Driving these things is one thing, right? I mean, once you're a driver and you get in the vehicle, you feel it. You can immediately push the limits with it. But the big difference that I'm learning or trying to figure out, or what I feel like needs the most experience, is the capability of the vehicle. Like how fast you can blast through the rocks, how hard you can bounce through, washouts and things like that. Like that for me is new. I drive a car that, a 4-inch whoop would, rip the front end off it. So, for me, understanding those kind of things without too much trial and error, if you will, is the biggest challenge.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, we got to take a short break. You hang out for about 3 minutes and come back. I got a bunch of stuff to ask you, man. Some drift stuff and everything else. So, all right, we're going to take a short commercial break. We come back. We got more Vaughn Gittin Jr. on the line. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty radio show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it. So when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our Razor vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of Razor vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a Razor 170 like me, take the entire family out in a Razor XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new Razor XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris Razor. Check out the full Polaris Razor lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor.
Get ready for some serious country music from the one and only Dwight Yoakam. Live in concert Saturday, December 10th at the Blue Water Amphitheater at the Blue Water Resort and Casino. Gates open at 2. Show starts at 3. General admission tickets in advance for $40. VIP tickets are $75. General admission day of the show is $60. Visit BlueWaterFun.com and reserve your tickets now. Dwight Yoakam live at the Blue Water Resort and Casino. Don't miss it.
Blue Water Resort and Casino. Right on the water, right on the money.
Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at kchighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights. Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI. A 268 horsepower, turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI. It's not a sibling rivalry. It's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver, Amy Hood here. We got Vaughn Gittin Jr. on the line. I know before we went to break, Vaughn, you were talking about, you know what I mean, the capabilities of your new ride. How was that the first time you went out in the desert, like with King of the Hammers and stuff? I mean, you were saying, you know, your drift car, you only got a few inches of wheel travel. I mean, how was that? I mean, it was, you know, were you checking up for things and it took you a progression like, hey, man, like, I don't need to check up for that. This thing will soak it up. Or, I mean, was it one of those things where you just took to it like oil to water? You know, it would just, bam, let's go, you know, and you were just, you know, clipping through everything.
Yeah, I mean, my first, obviously King of the Hammers is rock crawling and desert racing together, right? So my biggest thing was, like, I'd never climbed rocks ever, like, especially like obstacles at KOH. And so when I got there, I had a hour of seat time literally before the race, and Lauren Healy jumped in the passenger seat and took me over to this old, like a waterfall looking washout. And, he's like, looks at me, he's like, go up that. And I was, I looked at him like, yeah, I get it. Like, I'm the rookie, like, haha, like, where are we really going? And he's like, no, go up that thing. And so, we put it in 4 low, and, I just, smoothly drove right up it. And, like, I just remember immediately being like, okay, so this is what these things can do. And so the rocks actually, I learned very quickly to, keep the tires up on the high spots and, not to get hung up and things like that. But yeah, the desert was quite interesting because, obviously, again, driving a vehicle is driving a vehicle. The terrain's a bit different. You have different traction levels, but, constantly, I'd find myself like constantly dodging these dips and dodging, little rocks that the thing could have just plowed right through. And, as the race went on, I got a little bit more comfortable, but for my first race, I just wanted to finish. Obviously that's a big goal in its own at that type of race. So, but with this new buggy, it was just, testing wise, getting more comfortable, just like a dirt bike, staying wide open through the whoops, it gets up on plane and just let the suspension work rather than trying to, get a rhythm or, anything like that. So it's just going to be experience in that, which, I don't have. So hopefully I don't break too much before I figure out the limits.
Yeah, just seat time, man. Seat time. I know. Oh, it's the same thing if I was decided to go drifting. I mean, I've slid cars before, but, I've done, as far as my, me being in a drift car, it's, my ride along with Turk a couple years ago at SEMA. And I went, I thought I could slide a car until I got in with one of you guys. And I'm like, oh, man, do I have a lot to learn if I was ever going to pursue this, It's just one of those things. It's not to say I couldn't pick it up with enough seat time. It's just, it's like just practice, man.
Yeah, no, the really cool thing about drift is, it really sets you up to feel vehicle dynamics, right?
Yeah.
We're always on the limit and feeling traction at high speed sideways, with the wheel speed, 40%, 30% more than the vehicle speed. So that translates very well to things like the rocks where you don't want to spin your tires at all. So you're constantly just feeling that load and, in the desert, when you're constantly battling different terrains and wanting to keep momentum, it translates very well. So, but there's those other details like how hard you can go through this or how fast to attack that. Consequences in the desert are very, very significant. I mean, not that a concrete K-rail at a drift event isn't, but it seems like things pop out in the desert a little bit more than a wall.
Yeah, well, and they change, too. You can go through one corner and then 10 minutes later go through the same corner again, and there's a boulder sitting in the middle of it. You're like, oh, man, how the hell did that get there?
Yeah, where'd that come from, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, skipping over to the drift side of things, man, you had a good year this year. I mean, it's just drift, dude. It's got so competitive. It's just crazy, man. I mean, between you and Osbo and Forsberg, I mean, you guys all had great seasons. It's just, man, it was a wild one. I think for drift fans, it's been great the past couple of years just to see the competition.
Yeah, for sure. We brought out our brand new Ford Mustang RTR this year. It was essentially a development year, our first year competing, and we had qualified our first 4 times and won 2 events and chased it down till the end. And like you said, the competition, man, all the teams, all the drivers, the progression is just nuts. I mean, these are literally 9-second drag cars that we're tossing into walls at or towards walls at over 100 miles an hour, and it's just there's no end in sight. It's more grip, more power every year. So, it keeps it fun and that's what keeps me coming back. I've been competing at that level since 2004, when Formula D started. So I'm, it's those challenges and those, constant changes and everything always being new. We're going to the same tracks, but everything is new when you're lining up against different competitors. So it's definitely incredible what's going on out there.
Yeah, to me, the cool part is just to see. I mean, it started out, a little over 10 years ago. You guys were, building a car in your garage and going out and drifting. And now, I mean, these things, you guys have engineers and, and motor programs. And, I mean, these are, these are engineered cars. It's not like you're just bringing something you built in your garage, It's, to me, the technology is crazy. And what's cool is your car still looks like a Mustang. A lot of motorsport doesn't really look that way. Your car looks exactly, like what it's supposed to, but underneath, man, it's just the technology that goes into it's maddening.
Yeah, we have to maintain the factory unibody, and there's only so much that you can cut. So we're really it's unlimited engines, unlimited weight savings. Your weight defines your tire size, so there's some strategy there, but the modifications to the control arms and the spindles and things like that to give the car the forward drive and, the side bite that's required in addition to the steering angle. I mean, those are some pretty serious engineering goes into that kind of stuff to make sure, you're getting the proper scrub radiuses and keeping the right Ackerman and, making the car work the way you need it, which, in the end is a very well-balanced, easy to drive vehicle. So, I'm blown away with where we're at. As someone that's been through the progression since day one, if you had asked me when we started that the cars would be what they are now, I would have thought you were crazy.
Yeah, it's it's wild. Well, let's talk real quick before we go, too. I know this past year you bounced around. You did a little bit of, obviously we've seen the off-road program pop up. You did some drifting. You did Trans Am race. How was that?
Oh, man, that was a good time. My biggest thing going from drift to road racing is just calming down a bit. Drift, you're a little bit more aggressive with the vehicle. And, the Trans Am racing was at Road America. And it was just such an epic experience. I've never done those speeds, 160, 170 on the front straight. Like I've never even done that in a car. So, obviously once you're in it, your brain slows down and it doesn't seem that fast, but being door to door and running 2 and 3 wide through turns and, bumping and grinding a bit. It was a good time. And that was probably the first race where road racing actually clicked for me. I've done some stuff in the past, but that was the first time where, it all really clicked. And I think I finished 5th overall.
I was impressed, dude. You did really well.
Yeah, and there was a little bit of wet in the beginning of the race, so that was right up my alley. There's people spinning all off the track and this, that, and the other, and I just remember just bobbing and weaving, during the couple wet laps, and then it dried up, and we were in a really good place, and it was fun, man. It's really, really interesting to see, people's different driving styles and how people approach things, and picking where to pick them off and pass. So I really did enjoy that. Would like to do it some more, but as far as focus, I'm really focused on continuing drift and starting to have some fun in the dirt with you guys.
Yeah, I'm pumped to have you out here, man. It's going to be cool. I'm so pumped to see you out here. I mean, obviously I'm on the desert side of things, and you're at King of the Hammers, but still pretty cool. I think we'll see you out at a desert race in that thing at some point. I think it'll be kind of fun to see that whole program progress, man. It's you're definitely a guy we love seeing in the off-road community. Let's put it that way.
Well, I appreciate that, man, and I will say the off-road community's been really amazing, and at the end of the day, man, we all just love having fun and driving the machines that we're building as hard as we can. And I think, just that connection is very universal, whether it's drift or whatever, man. We're in the automotive / truck scene and just having fun with it. So it's rad.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Vaughn. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to come on air, and we'll definitely be in touch, buddy, if we can get one of these UTV rides together with everybody or something like that. But appreciate you taking the time, my friend.
Sure. Yeah, hit me up anytime. And once again, thanks everybody for all the love, and we'll see you all soon.
All right, sounds good, buddy.
All right, Jim. Take it easy, man.
All right, thanks, Vaughn.
See ya.
See ya. All right, that was Vaughn Gittin Jr. We're going to take a short commercial break, and when we come back, Amy and I, we got a lot to talk about, rant about, some questions, and a whole lot more here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When R.J. Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning RZR XP1000. R.J. is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris RZRs to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris RZRs RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris RZR vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at kchighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights. Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver, Amy Hood here. And I just got done with my buddy Vaughn Gittin Jr. He's getting a little dirty out in the desert now in his brand new badass ride. That thing. Did you see pictures of that on Instagram, Hood?
No, I didn't. I have not.
Yeah, you'll have to do a little Insta stalking on Vaughn and check out this new blue Bronco he built. The thing is so.
I love Broncos.
Yeah, it's old school Bronco. It's so freaking awesome.
Sounds sweet.
Yeah, it's awesome. I want to, gotta get my weekly promo in for Project Action. If you guys aren't tuning in and locked and loaded over there, please rate, review, subscribe on iTunes. We are still on the front page of iTunes under New and Noteworthy. Should be very easy to find, but each rating and review definitely helps out. So if you subscribe, please rate and review me. Don't care if you give me 1 star or 5 stars, just give me some kind of stars. Last week we had pro wake surfer, 3-time world champ Ashley Kidd on, as well as my partner in crime, Amy Hood. This week, I have my good friend Lauren Mayhew, actress, singer, and she does just a little bit of everything. She's a host. She's just a badass. I met her. She used to sing for Red Bull Global Rallycross, the national anthem, and she's been in the American Pie movies and a bunch of other. No, she wasn't nude in the American Pie movies. She actually had an acting part. But she's she's been in those movies and a bunch of other movies. She's just got a new single out on iTunes. We're going to be playing that on the show. She's just a badass, but she's going to be my guest on Project Action this week, so definitely going to be a good one.
Cool.
Yeah, last time I had her on air, it was 2 years ago on this show, and her and I started talking, and it ended up being a 40-minute conversation, and so it's you just never know. She's also been on WWE Wrestling. She was one of the hosts there, so yeah, she's a badass. I'm telling you, Lauren Mayhew.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, she's awesome.
I'll tune in that one for sure.
What's that? Yeah, she's pretty cool. So she's my guest this week. So it should be a good one. Thanks to all you for tuning in, and I don't know, man. Between you and I, Hood, it's kind of tough to keep track of everything we've got going on. It's we're both pretty lucky, I think. But
yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
sometimes I can't keep track of my own stuff.
Right? It's I tell everybody, I need an assistant, but I can't afford an assistant. I said, how's that work?
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, I'm busy
My
enough.
mom, she helps me out.
Yeah.
Good old mom, free assistant.
Yeah, your mom's awesome, and she makes some really good applesauce, too.
She makes good everything. You should try her brownies.
What? She does brownies?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and I haven't even got close to that yet, man. I need to get myself up to Winnipeg. Holy crap. Nice. So, yeah, I don't know, Hood. We've got some fan questions here, but before we get to those, I wanted to ask you. So, I haven't really dove into too much Supercross talk, and it's crazy silly season going on right now. I know I was gonna get with you. We need to reach out to Chad Reed because I think he, at this point in time, would be a really fun interview to get on, especially kind of it's off season and things like that. And I know he's coming back next year, so I think he would be a fun interview, But looking down the line of things, I mean, I know the big one too is like everybody's wondering where the heck is James Stewart going to land at this point in time. Like, I mean, what's the status of him? Like, he's coming back. He hadn't announced his retirement or anything, but like, what's up with James Stewart?
Well, not James Stewart. I saw on the internet that he has a ride with Kawasaki, but I mean, it's his brother Malcolm Stewart. He hasn't. There's no talk of any rides for Malcolm right now, and I mean, did anybody watch his performance last year? I mean, he was an animal out there, especially in Supercross. That's where he really excels. But yeah, I mean, it's been a weird year for the Stewart brothers. I'm not too sure. I haven't been really focused much on Supercross right now with obviously my transition to four wheels here. I've been really focused on my schedule, but again, we're gonna have to do some. We're gonna have a lot to talk about come A1. I think the tables are going to be really, really turned. There's not much talk about Jeremy Martin or Cooper Webb and any of their training kind of going on. It's been a lot of hype, obviously, with Ken Roxon and Trey Canard basically switching teams here. So I think they're going to put on a really great show for you this year. Not much talk about Ryan Dungey either. So I haven't really heard too much.
Yeah, you don't need to talk about Ryan Dungey. You just know he's going to be like he's a machine. He's like a robot. He's going to go in and do the work.
He's just going to be there.
Yeah, he's just going to be there and be, fighting for the top box every single week. Well, it's funny you talk about Malcolm Stewart. Like, here's a dude, like, he needs to be on a 450. Let's somebody just finally put him there because that's where he deserves to be. I know he's done it, here and there, but it's like, this whole 250 West thing and all that. Put him on a 450. Let the guy run. Like, I think he's going to turn some heads, but. So here's the thing with James Stewart. So Kawasaki, like I kind of heard about that too, but not a whole lot. So we're talking Monster Energy Kawasaki. How's that work with his Red Bull deal?
I have no idea. And again, that was just something I saw on the internet.
So that's kind of what I saw too.
Yeah, so I mean, it's like 50-50 on the internet. I have no idea. It was something I was scrolling across actually when I was at Monster Jam University. I had seen it, and I'm like, what? Really?
You and I must have read the same thing because I'm looking, like literally I'm looking as we speak. And to me, because he's on the tail end of his career, let's face it. He's got a year, maybe two left. He can still ride at a high level. What?
Don't say that.
Don't say that? Well, it's just the truth.
Look at Chad Reed. We've been saying he's on the tail end of his career for like 10 years now. Okay? And he's just finally coming into his own. So, no, I believe there is hope for James Stewart. I mean, the guy just had a baby, okay? And he's been very good at keeping his private life private and what he's got going on. So I think James Stewart's going to come swinging. And again, everybody's comparing James Stewart to where he used to be, cleaning up, being the crazy, radical, aggressive racer that he was when he was racing against Ricky Carmichael and Chad Reed. Years ago, but I think James has grown up a lot too, and I think he's just going out looking to be consistent, not being no wild man anymore. I think he's just wanting to race his dirt bike and be consistent and, get on the podium every week. And I think all of us have way too high expectations from James Stewart, where I think he's really grown up a lot as a rider, and I think everyone's got to back off. I mean, out of every single racer, I think James Stewart has the most pressure on him to perform, and I mean, it's hard on the dude.
Yeah. Well, here's my prediction on James Stewart. So if he, I think this is going to tell how much longer we're going to see him in Supercross. So if he actually does, in fact, sign with Monster Energy Kawasaki, we're going to see him in Supercross for a long time. If he doesn't, then I think he's probably a year or two away from retirement. And the reasoning being is when Red Bull signs you to a deal, unless you're just a complete asshat, it's generally a lifetime deal. I mean, you look at guys like Renner and things like that, Levi LaValle, they're going to be wearing a Red Bull hat until the day they die, right? And James Stewart is one of those guys. Red Bull wants to keep him in that hat until the day he dies. So if he signs, he's not going to sign with Monster Energy Kawasaki for 1 year and piss away an entire contract for a lifetime, right? Even after he's done riding. You look at Ricky Johnson, and Ricky's doing TV for him now, and he's not racing off-road trucks. And, and James would be one of those guys. They bring him in for Red Bull TV and host to host Straight Rhythm and things like that. So you don't generally walk.
I don't know.
You don't walk.
I don't know about that. I don't think so. I got play the opponent. I feel like, I mean, have you seen anything about James wanting to get in front of the camera, doing any media stuff, being involved with, like race directs, ride stays, and like, all that stuff that a lot of other riders get involved in once their career kind of slows down? Honestly, because of the whole TV show that James was a part of, and now his new family and private life and all the drama and controversy and everything that he had to deal with, I feel like once James Stewart is done, he is going to walk away from the limelight and he is going to go on and just live his own personal life. I really, really think that's going to happen. It's already happening now. We know nothing about what's going on with James Stewart. Do we not?
No, we don't know anything. That's why we're sitting here talking about it. It's because we don't have any idea. And I think that's that's one thing. Props to James Stewart because, it's like through all that turmoil and all the crap last year and, with the whole Adderall or whatever it was, like I have more respect for him now than I did before. Like most people would have complained and got in lawsuits and I'm suing them. And, James is just like, he just bit the bullet. He took the time off. Like, I have all the respect in the world. He doesn't badmouth anybody. He's not a hothead. He just, like, how can you not like James Stewart? I
love James Stewart. I really like him, and I really like, how he handled that, all the controversy that he was going through with the, obviously with the Adderall claim, and he handled it really well. He kept to himself. He did his own thing. There was no negative or back talking or like he's the man and I'm going to come back and clean up like you see a lot of obviously athletes do. I like James Stewart. I don't think he gets enough credit for what he's accomplished in his career, and I think that people hold him way too high on a pedestal and expect way too much from him, and I just think he needs a little bit more support from the fan following of Supercross and motocross.
Yeah, but as we know with Supercross and motocross fans, they're fair weather. Somebody gets hot and immediately, it's like Chad Reed when he went on his deal where he won a race, a year or so ago, and it's like immediately Chad Reed's got all these fans. Like, where were you guys at? How come all of a sudden you're Chad Reed fans? It's like,
exactly.
You have a couple of bad ones, and it's like, I hate that guy. And then all of a sudden, they win a race. Oh, he's my favorite. And I'm like, they're so fair weather. It's so bad. It's just like sports teams.
Totally.
Yeah, it's so.
Well, I think now that James Stewart being the whole daddy and everything, I think he's going to really revamp his whole look, just like Chad Reed did. Once he became a dad and a father, and he settled down a little bit, and fans gravitated towards him so much more. And I really think that, we might see a completely different James Stewart this year, too. I don't know. Like, I have not really been following all the athletes as closely as I used to be. I used to be down in California all winter, at the practice track, hanging out, just even hearing the talk of who's doing what and who's training where people are. And I have no insight right now. Like, I'm like a typical fan preparing for A1 to see who gets out of the gate first. Really, I need to get down to California and do my homework.
Yeah.
But I actually think I'm going to be heading down to California beginning of December here, and I'm going to have another big girls' ride day. So that's
nice. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I know. So that's my plan in the works here. I'm going to have a really long season in Monster Jam where I'm going to not be able to jump on my bike and ride on the ice or do any arena crosses or go down south at all this winter. So I think I got to get it in before it starts. So I'm going to plan on hosting a girls' ride day. So any California ladies out there listening, stay tuned for the date.
Yeah, I was looking, your schedule totally, is the overlaps with Supercross. Like, you're donezo as far as going to a Supercross goes. Maybe rub it
in even more.
Well, maybe you can go to the finale in Vegas or something like that. I think you're done like mid-May, something like that. You might be able to go, or mid-March. You might be able to go to something late April, early May. I don't know.
We'll see. Well, hopefully I'm going to try to stay in Vegas because it usually goes Monster Energy Supercross finale, Mid 400, and then Monster Jam World Finals. Like, there's 3 weekends in a row that's straight racing, and I think I might just come and crash at your house, Jim, and I'll be driving to Vegas every day.
That's only 2.5 hours. Not bad.
Yeah. I'll just come back during the week and stay with you, and then come back out for the weekend for Supercross, Mid 400, and World Finals.
Oh, I'm sure we could have all kinds of fun with you out here, shredding some razors, and we got access to all kinds of dirt bikes and everything else, so be a ton of fun for sure. So, Yeah, all right, we're going to take a short commercial break. We come back, we're going to wrap things up here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor.
I'm Polaris rider Levi LaValle, and I choose Polaris just because they have the best quality, highest performing, most fun machines out there.
Only one company has taken Levi LaValle to 10 X Games medals, snowcross championships, a double backflip, and a world record long jump of 412 feet across the San Diego Harbor on New Year's Eve, and that company is Polaris. Whether it's dominating the X Games, racing a stock Polaris Razor XP1000 in the Terracross Championship, or just hitting the trail on the weekend, for over 20 years, Levi has relied on the same quality Polaris vehicles and products you can purchase at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of action sports legend Levi LaValle and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI. A 268-horsepower, turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI. It's not a sibling rivalry. It's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle and Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver, Amy Hood here, wrapping things up on yet another edition of everybody's favorite action motorsports radio show. Nice guest lineup today, mixing in some UTV racing. My buddy Vaughn Gittin Jr., Krysten Anderson. Yeah, lots of fun here, Hood.
Let's call it. Remember last time we called that we were going to, was it Sims? We called that we were going to have him on after the race because he was going to win wasn't it the win?
Oh, the Baja 1000? Yeah. Who was that we did? I can't remember. And then we ended up we had him on. It was like a couple in a row.
I thought it was him. I thought we called that we were going to have him on after the UTV World Championship.
It might have been him. Or no, was it Mitch Guthrie Jr.?
Sure it was.
Was it Mitch Guthrie Jr.? I can't remember.
No. It was him.
Okay, well, we'll call it. Do you think Sim's going to win the Baja 1000?
Yeah, we'll definitely give him a call next week after the Baja 1000 here, because I mean he's a great interviewer. He's so knowledgeable on how he explains and talks about everything. Like I really love listening to him and talking with him. Yeah,
we've got that one photo from what was a year and a half ago at Terracross when we were at the Fox party, and it was me, you, Jolene. We had Branden. We had his girlfriend Bailey there. Street Bike Tommy. Like there's that one photo all of us were in together. James Hill and Sarah. Like we had so much fun out there.
Yeah, that was so much fun.
Yeah.
What was it, playing that hammer game where you're trying to...
Yeah, Hammerschlagen.
Piece of wood? Oh, my goodness. Hey, I was practicing all year for that to go back to Heydays and clean up on that game.
They didn't even have it this year. I was so bummed. It was like total party foul. Yeah, it was a bummer. But, all right, got to give a shout-out to Polaris RZR, General Tire, Subaru, KCI Lights, Gibson, Dirtfish. Don't forget, use that code JBDirtfish. MTX, the code over there is just my last name, Beaver. Impact, Terracross, Blue Water Resort and Casino. Got some more Enduro Cross coming up. Baja 1000, some World Rallycross. Don't forget to give Amy Hood a follow. It's at Amy Hood 71. I'm at Jim Beaver 15. And don't forget to rate, review, subscribe. My new podcast, Project Action. And I don't know. I know I'm missing something here. Oh, yeah, we got Subaru Launch Control. How can I not talk about that? We got another episode coming out each and every Wednesday, so make sure you're tuning in to Subaru Launch Control. We got a ton of Terracross television still to come. Been in L.A. about once a week, voice and television shows. So, man, we got a lot of Terracross TV to come. So, definitely don't forget to tune into that. And Amy Hood and I, we will see you guys next week on another edition of the Down and Dirty Radio Show. We will see you later. You got anything to leave us with, Hood?
No, just have a safe, fun weekend, and I'm probably going to go ride my dirt bike this week, so I'm pretty excited.
All right, sounds good.
Have a good one.
Yep, have a good one, guys. Bye.